We have done a lot of study of Greek participles, mostly of the forms because there are so many. But throughout that process, we've discussed that we really should translate participles as ing words, ing words, for the sake of this first year of learning Greek and offering a kind of wooden translation. But the reality is most English translations do not simply retain Greek participles as ing words. In fact, that would not make very good English because participles are so frequent in the Greek New Testament. What we need to do is begin to see the ways in which the participles are functioning beyond simply providing an ing kind of action. So in this and the next lesson, we're going to begin to look at these pragmatics of participles and how to translate participles in different ways beyond that gloss ing translation. In this lesson, we'll keep it simple and just look at temporal relationships. The temporal relationship of the participle. Participles can indicate what is known as relative time with respect to the main verb that they modify. So for example, there'll be a main action and then a participle or a participial clause will modify that action, indicating some action that happened before the main action, some action that's happening during the time of the main action, or some action that may occur after the time of the main action. Relative time, or as traditional grammars would call it, relative tense, is not built in to the participle. That's important to realize. It's actually just one of the many functions that a participle is capable of. Really, the way that this function operates is through something that is built into the participle, namely verbal aspect. The aorist participle, which indicates perfective aspect, will normally indicate an action that happens before the action of the main verb. And sometimes the aorist participle can be used to indicate an action that happens after the time of the main verb. But usually we're looking at antecedent action with aorist participles. The present participle, since it encodes imperfective aspect or internal aspect, will tend to indicate an action that happens contemporaneous compared to the action of the main verb. So in other words, the participle indicates contemporaneous time, some action that's happening at the same time as the main action. And third, the perfect participle, which in this grammar we adopt the position that it conveys also imperfective aspect or internal aspect, will generally seem to parallel the present in terms of its relative temporal relationship to the main verb. That is, it will normally indicate some kind of contemporaneous event, sometimes an antecedent event that remains contemporaneous at the time of the action. So in the next lesson, we'll consider some of the other pragmatics of the participle. But for now, we need to recognize that many participles will indicate some kind of temporal relationship with that main verb as determined by the aspect of each tense form participle.